Today, we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead, The Good Place, The Gifted, and Mr. Robot, so stay tuned. Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. And I'm here with Mr. Joel Cunningham. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Matt?
I'm super duper awesome-tastic.
Good. Enjoying my LaCroix here personally.
LaCroix.
Yeah.
Yep. I had a giant soda earlier because I wanted caffeine. So,
what flavor soda?
Yeah, Coke Zero Zero.
Coke Zero Zero.
Yeah, Zero Sugar. They changed their name. I don't know what they're called
I get
now.
freaked out by that stuff because it's like you have to, at some point you have to put something in there.
Yeah.
Because it tastes like something.
Chemicals, bro.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'd rather just have the chemicals I
It's like
enjoy.
insecticide
I
or
know
something.
are going to be bad for me, the chemicals I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know. but I will say this, it's working. So,
Ayo.
this is our Tube Talk segment. We're going to talk about some television shows that we've been keeping up on a little bit.
We're going to get to it.
And we're going to chat it out a little bit, kind of give our thoughts. And yeah, I guess it's going to go down like that. Do you want to tell them how they can get connected with us?
Yes. In case they don't already know.
Yeah.
Which you should know. I mean,
Yeah.
by now you're listening to our podcast.
Right,
You should already
yeah.
know. But
Absolutely.
if you don't, some great ways to get connected. We have our website, which is realreviewmedia.com. We also have our Facebook, which is facebook.com/realreviewmedia. We also have our Instagram and Twitter, which are both at realreviewmedia. And then finally, we would love to hear from you, hear your thoughts and perspectives as well. Get some input. We get people sending us stuff from time to time. We always enjoy it. You can definitely send us an email at realreviewmedia@gmail.com.
Do it.
To get listeners, I should say, send us
Yes.
stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah.
There it is.
Perfect.
Hopefully I did well for you, Matt.
You did well.
Did I accomplish that?
Yes,
Have
you
I
did.
fulfilled my duties
You did well,
as
sir.
introducer of places to get connected?
Yes. Thank you.
No problem.
So let's go on. Let's dive into the first thing. And
Okay.
the main thing that we're going to talk about starting off this thing is The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Season 8, Episode 3.
I am starting to feel like, and I'm just going to say this at the get-go,
Say it.
that the name Walking Dead is
Yeah.
almost like the show.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel really like, are you still doing that? You still doing this? Sorry.
And here's the thing. So just so you guys are aware, in Tube Talk, we do spoilers. So we're going to spoil things. If you
Yes.
don't want to hear anything
I don't
more
know if
about
I
this.
explained what I was
get
talking
outta
about
here.
well enough. I meant that the show is like something that's
Right.
dead.
So here's
and
the
walking
thing.
somehow.
Here's the thing. And I told you this before we started recording.
Yeah.
I said I came to a kind of a revelation with this show.
Yep.
In this season, I'm having a hard time caring.
Yes. Agreed. Not
And I
Karen.
And I can't
Carrie.
and I can't put my finger on why at the moment.
I really think they jumped the shark with the Glenn thing.
Really?
I really do.
But see, I kind of felt invested still after that for the rest of the season.
Right, because you're still kind of recovering. It was almost like a PTSD
Okay.
experience of the Glenn
Okay.
experience. So I think
Every episode after that where Glenn wasn't dying was something.
to kind of recover from a little
Okay.
bit, but the stakes never. I don't think they could make the stakes that big because at this point, personally,
Yeah.
if any of the characters were to die,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
There isn't one character that I'm really holding on to and rooting for on the show. There's characters I expect won't die.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just a thing of time too. Maybe it's just
I'm
been
not
on for so
sure.
long too. But
Yeah, maybe.
but it really feels like at this point it's kind of like, well, we had the big kill with
Yeah.
Glenn, and now that we've kind of overcome that hurdle,
Yeah.
I'm kind of just wanting to see how it ends. I really don't. I mean, at this point, I'm just like, are they gonna figure out the cure for the zombies?
Yeah.
Are they gonna become successful again? Are they going to start up a new community? But I don't know where they can go. Maybe that's it too. I don't know where they could go.
I will say this.
different and
They have promised war for this season. That's basically all it's been is fighting. A lot of people have been dying. A lot of the saviors.
well, and that's the other thing. It's been kind of boring. I mean, as far as what's actually happening in the episodes, it's just kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, I liked
everybody shooting guns.
I liked Ezekiel's crew and kind of what they were doing until the end.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
I know I was gonna say I liked what they were doing. Rick and the guy from season 1, I forget what his name was, but that showed up at the end of episode 2 that basically got killed by Daryl at the beginning of this one.
Yeah.
I don't see what the whole point of that was. Other than just to help, it was a writing device to help Rick, kind of reflect back and help his character in some way that the writers want you to go later on.
I was reading up some reviews on this, and I think this is actually kind of the case. It feels like what they're trying to do, and this was an article that came in, is it feels like they're trying to set up sort of a B plot. They have the A plot, which is obviously the war with Negan, but the B plot is quickly becoming how all of the different saviors are sort of taking the side now of just whatever might makes right. That we just have to kill who all the bad guys are. We can't trust anybody.
You mean Rick's crew?
Rick's crew, sorry. Yeah. I meant Rick's crew. That they have to just kill whoever they can in order to survive and win the war and the effects.
Like how Tara and Morgan want to just kill them all, and then Jesus is like, hey.
And that might be the result of Rick himself, his actions, his way of
Rick is conflicted, obviously.
Right, because it's kind of, leadership, it boils down from the top down. Yeah. And so it feels like, and I said this from the very first episode, it feels like they're setting up almost a Rick death.
Yeah.
That maybe he, at some point in the season, is going to have to make like the ultimate sacrifice to kind of change their minds back to help them realize that it's not about just killing and being the best. It's about sacrifice and doing what's right. So I don't know, but I'm not invested in that story still, though. I don't care about it.
And it's weird because
it just makes it, honestly, it just makes them seem like jerks right now. And I'm like Daryl killing that guy just by shooting him in the head after they were going to give him I'm like, Daryl was never that guy before. And Morgan's whole flip out mode thing and the breaking of him mentally was just like, what? This just feels so weird.
Well, I understand that kind of, but I was frustrated with both parts. On the one hand, I'm like, just kill them all. On the other hand, I'm like, I see what you're trying to do, Jesus. Jesus saves. And I was just, but at the same time, I was like, because Morgan we've already seen him go off the deep end mentally.
Yeah.
And he acknowledges
he's
as much.
He's flat out like schizophrenic, though.
Well, he acknowledges as much too. He's like, I'm not right. I'm not right in the head. Something's wrong with me, but I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I can't put my finger on it. You say all these things and I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's something else that I need to really process about what's happening that I don't care about what's happening.
There's
right
a couple other aspects. I mean, tone issues are definitely a big part of these last couple episodes. It's all just been people running around shooting guns with a few little interspersed moments of like dialogue and kind of a semblance of depth of deeper purposes there. And it just makes it seem like it's just a run and gun fest.
Yeah.
And all of the gunfights feel really staged to me. All of them feel very flat and kind of like, okay, well, this is a budgetary thing. I mean, you can only show two people having the same firefight for an entire episode for so long.
Those two groups, like the car group and
exactly.
Aaron's group. And
and it's like randomly shoot. I mean, so many of the shots were like them just going random, like not even aiming at anything or just like shooting in the air. And then somebody will get hit and you don't even know who this person is. It's like the battles have to have sides and stakes. And it's very unclear what the sides are and what the stakes are at this point, which is strange because we've built up towards this for so long. But it's like, how far is far enough? Like, are they just trying to kill Negan? Are they trying to take over all these things? Like, what's their end game goal? What are they going to... And they have, like I said, they have bits and pieces and moments of that. And I'm not really liking so far the shift towards Lauren Cohen's character being like the new default leader for the group.
You mean for the Hilltop?
Yeah. They're all saying that she decides everything. Once done, Rick is gone. Once this is done, Rick is gone, and Lauren's the Maggie. I don't really get why they're defaulting to have her be the person that's in charge.
Well, she's kind of been ramping up to it the last season and a half, I feel like. And Rick even had a conversation an episode or two ago.
Right,
like,
but if they want to do this right, shouldn't they all kind of take like a vote or something like that? I mean, shouldn't it be more of like a government? Shouldn't they be trying to put in place more of like a government system? You know what I mean? Shouldn't it be more of like a republic?
I think that's the idea. I just think we haven't seen the nitty gritty of it yet.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I just haven't really connected with her being the character that everybody kind of like points to. Rick is a force to reckon with, whereas her character, I haven't seen her be a force to reckon with. I haven't really seen her be a diplomatic person and have to figure out how to, create diplomatic situations and everything. Right. It's kind of just been forced. It's constantly being said that she's that person. She's that person. this last episode was like the first time I've really had her in my face, seeing her as that diplomatic character and being successful at it.
Yeah.
Which, even though she seems stupid to do, she let
the saviors.
The one guy back into the
Gregory.
hilltop. Yeah, Gregory let him back into the hilltop, which seemed like a stupid decision. But
what
I don't know.
Weasel.
There's just nothing I'm really connecting with. I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
It's so weird. It is.
The action's not doing anything for me. None of the characters that I'm dying I care about. None of the story arcs are really going anywhere for me. It just seems like they're all jerks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird, man. I don't know. I would give this episode, if I had to rate it, like a 6.
Yeah, that's actually where I was going. This is pretty low for me for a Walking Dead episode. But I was expecting by this point in the season, we would have a bigger understanding of the bigger picture of this season. And where every season so far, there's been a clear cut. They're at A and they're struggling to get to B.
Right.
And it's going to cause this.
Yeah.
And they have a semblance of that. They're struggling with, they're at A, they're trying to get rid of Negan's forces to get to B, which is freedom.
Peace
And freedom. But it's just so blurred. It's so blah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I'm explaining very well.
I think you are. I can't myself articulate exactly what's. I mean, I get all that and I understand what
I
you're
would
saying.
actually really love to hear other listeners' perspectives on this.
Yes,
so
please
if any of you are out
tell
there,
us.
because I want to hear what, if I'm like you and I are like more or less alone in our overall dislike so far for the season. I haven't had a chance to check out the numbers.
The numbers are a lot lower for this season. However, they're still high enough to be the number one show. It's funny because they were so high to begin with. Like there was nothing comparing to them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this would have been a better, almost short, if it had been a shorter season too.
Probably.
I think they're stretching battles out on purpose. I think they're stretching different
They probably
things
need
out.
to start talking about an end point soon here.
Like who's the kid? Was it Eric that died this last episode? Who got shot in the stomach? And
we didn't technically see him. We saw something in the distance. A walker in the distance. Aaron's.
Was it Aaron?
Were they married?
I don't know. In the show,
I don't remember either. So Eric.
Yeah, but I didn't care about him like at all. I've got like maybe 5 minutes of screen time with him.
Yeah,
so
we didn't
far
really
this
know a lot about
series.
him. I mean, we met him when like Aaron broke his leg or ankle or something like that.
They tried to turn that into a big thing. It just feels like they don't really know what they're shooting for.
Yeah.
Like what are you trying to do right now, show? Like what are you trying to give me? Are you trying to show me the horribleness of war? Are you trying to show me the struggle that Rick and his people are going through?
Right.
I mean, there were so many battles too where it was literally just like people running into an open area and then getting shot and dying.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then that actually made me then feel bad for them that they're more or less just getting picked off, even though they're the bad guys, you know?
I didn't feel that way about the Saviors, but I understand what you're saying.
I was expecting a tactical battle as a big part of it. And so far, the tactics of the battle have not been that impressive. They've been very, very minor, and there haven't been a lot of them.
There's a couple of them. Like they had a couple of far shots where like
there haven't been a lot,
Ezekiel's
but
team was taking out like some of the people. I was like, that's kind of cool. Like sniped a couple of guys on the roof and then like opened the garage and then took everybody out. But for the most part, I don't know. I don't think we need to spend too much time on it. It's just kind of a weird thing.
Move on. Something a little lighter.
Yeah, something definitely a little bit lighter, and that's The Good Place. Hey. Oh,
I like it. I like it.
So this episode was titled Derek.
Yep.
From this last week, and they got rid of him, and I'm glad because he was kind of annoying.
He was perfect for the episode, though.
Right.
You wanted him to be.
I'm glad he's not a reoccurring character, I guess is what I should say.
Yeah.
And again, and I texted you this earlier. I felt like Jason or Gianni came away with the win for one of the best quotes. Like he's just so dumb.
What was
he goes. Hey, we should get married on the beach. He goes, all the best things happen on the beach. It's like swimsuit editions, crabs, and Saving Private Ryan. I'm like, what? It's so funny.
Catches you off guard.
Yeah, and he just says stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he had a couple of other good lines too, but
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a decent episode.
Yeah, they're building up the romances a lot. This season so far, but I've been okay with it. Chidi and what's her name? Kristen Bell's character, I forget.
Eleanor.
Chidi and Eleanor kind of starting their little bit romantic tension. Yeah. Now. So we'll see how that goes.
My issue right now, and it's not really an issue with the show for that matter.
Mhm.
I feel like I almost feel like, and I normally don't recommend this, I always feel like the show is best watched in a binge format.
Yeah.
Not a week to week, 26 minutes at a time. I feel like when I watched the first season from, start to end
Yeah.
in a couple days, I was like, it was like so great.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what's happening next? And I'm actually kind of thankful with the cliffhanger they left on this most recent episode. It's back to Sean.
Yep.
In what's his name?
I can't remember his name, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah, anyway, in his office.
Yeah.
And Ted Danson's office.
Yeah, Michael.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Now this is gonna get interesting. What's he gonna do to kind of keep this, under wraps again?
Yeah.
And I'm curious too, because we've been spending a lot of time with him in his timeline. Are they gonna reboot again ever? Like, are they gonna plan on doing that? Because they've rebooted 800 times or whatever.
Eventually, that's gonna get old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they keep forgetting everything.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how Michael kind of weasels his way out of this set of circumstances. I liked how they kind of re-brought in the events with Janet and kind of her past relationship that she had with John Yu. I always thought that was a really funny thing.
Yeah.
And it was kind of tough that it was like, well, you just kind of had it and then you just moved on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice that they kind of wrapped it back in, and we'll see if that's going to be something that even has more.
Wind chimes.
Yeah. Look away. Look away. I'm going to keep watching, but you guys look away. I don't feel like Tahani and John Yu are great together.
No.
I feel like eventually that's going to end. I still feel like Janet and John Yu are better together because they're both in
kind
a way
of dumb in a way, like
optimistically dumb.
Yeah.
Well,
Janet's similar. Like just dumb because she's not a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still enjoying the ride though.
Yeah.
I'm still really thinking it's funny at times and catching me off guard.
Yeah.
And I thought that guy's character was annoying, but like annoying perfectly for that episode.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's no longer a part of the show was fine with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well. I thought he did some funny stuff and some.
Derek! Why is he still talking? He's basically in low power mode.
Is being in the tree.
Yeah.
That was really funny. He's like, this is the no Janet place. You can't come here. He's just like in a tree and stuff. So yeah, I'm liking it.
Okay. Cool.
What would you rate the episode?
7.5.
Yeah, I give it a little higher probably. I give it like an 8.
Okay.
8.2 or something
That's
like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm less interested about the love story stuff right now. I'm more interested about the the overall arc, what's happening with Sean and Michael. He's trying to scam, the bad place people. But
they have to get into some of that relational stuff.
I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, I mean the show would just they would tell the whole show in like a week probably if they didn't do that. So I'm okay with it, but I just hope that they handle it well.
Let's move on to the next show. The next one is a show that I kept up on for 3 or 4 episodes.
Yep.
But we stopped reviewing it for the last couple of weeks. But Joel, you're caught up.
I am caught up, yeah.
So we're talking about The Gifted.
Yeah.
So The Gifted X-Men spinoff series. What is happening and how is it going?
So with the first episode, they set up things pretty well. Mm-hmm. And we've kind of... It was like a small little bomb that kind of set off a crack that, has been slowly expanding.
Right.
Is kind of how I would put it. And this was these last 2 episodes have been a continuation of that crack sort of forming. So some people have been captured and they're trying to, escape some people from that capture.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the results of that. I'm trying to not spoil anything for you, Matt.
No, it's okay. Dude, you can spoil it if you want to.
I can spoil all of it. So,
if you want to.
Polaris.
Yeah.
She and I forget the guy's
Last
name.
time I saw is they're getting ready to break the dad and Polaris out of the truck.
Right, Reed and Polaris.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do manage to save them.
Okay.
But there's kind of a whole series of like needing to figure out how they're going to do that, and it's kind of opened up the world to an additional. They did a flashback where they showed one of the characters who had this ability to turn off electrical systems, but also can block mutant powers. And he was shot during one of the raids that they did, and they thought he was dead. But
right, I saw that part.
Right, so he turns out to be alive. So how many episodes are you?
I think I just didn't finish that episode.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw the beginning, and it opens up with that scene.
Right, so he shows up later that episode.
Okay.
He's still alive, but he's kind of been brainwashed, and there's now this organization. So again, the crack is sort of moving into.
Is it Sentinel Services related?
It's Sentinel Services related, but it's a group.
Okay.
They're saying, I think Baton Rouge is where it's
Okay.
going to be located at.
I like it because
And-
like in the comic, like the cartoon, like Sentinel, like that whole thing was like a big deal. So
Yeah, gotcha. It's X-Men. So they brought that into the picture now. So they're going to be expanding it into this kind of, I guess, a subgroup of the
Sure.
Sentinel services that's brainwashing the gifted mutants to be on their side. So that's interesting because they're kind of adding that as an element that's in play there, and it'll be cool to see kind of how they handle that.
Okay.
So Solaris escapes, and then so does Reed, and they kind of meet back up, and then the results of that is I forget the special agent that they've been dealing with.
The guy with the shaved head, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy with the shaved head. I wish I knew his name, but I don't know.
Well, there's
his
that
name.
one, like that one scientist called him up to try and make a deal with him.
Yeah. He was trying to recapture them the whole time. So they were transporting them to this like secret place in Baton Rouge potentially.
Yeah.
And they escape. And then he's trying to capture them more or less the whole episode. And Reed helps to come up with a plan to distract him and the rest of the Sentinel Services group. And they end up really messing with his head because they kind of kidnap him, and they do the girl with the mist breath.
Okay, yeah,
that can read people's memories.
Well, she can also implant memories
Right,
too.
implant memories. Yeah, so she tries to do a thing on his brain, and it kind of like fries his brain a little
Really?
bit.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and so he's kind of messed up right now, and I feel pretty bad for him actually because you find out as well that his daughter's dead.
Well, we've been seeing
from
like things.
the event.
Yeah.
The big event.
Do we know?
Or no, not the big event.
Do we know anything about the event yet?
They show you a little bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a big rally.
Okay.
It was like a mutant rally that was happening, and they haven't shown specifics of kind of how it got out of order, what happened, but it got out of order, and a big explosion happened from a mutant explosion happened and killed his daughter. And so you can tell it's like this is a vengeful thing.
Right, and that's why he's so like
so adamant,
anti,
right?
yeah.
Anti. And so he ends up getting his brain wiped though, and due to that actually ends up thinking his daughter's still alive.
Oh no.
Which is really rough because then he has to like experience his daughter being dead all over again.
Oh my gosh.
And the implant of the memories into I can't think of her name either. She does the teleportations.
Oh, Blink?
Jamie Blink, yes. Yeah. That's kind of playing out now. Like the fact that she's found out that the memories were implanted in her head.
Didn't really make out with that dude.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm just talking about what happened in the episode. I'm not really talking about the way that I felt
tell me about it. Go ahead. You don't
I think overall I'm still enjoying it.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying the tension that's kind of building amongst the characters because you can tell that they're being pushed to their limits.
Okay.
And the way that they're responding to that at times can be very biting and very like harsh. And everybody has a good reaction. It doesn't feel like anything is forced. It doesn't feel like any of the tension at this point is unrealistic. They did one thing I will say though. I'm going to spoil this as well. That was the dumbest, like literally like
what
made
happened?
No sense. Just thinking about it.
What
and
happened?
I'm not even a medical professional. So one of the characters that was helping with the raid to get back Reed
and Polaris
gets shot in the stomach.
Okay.
And they bring him back to the hideout. And his Reed's wife is trying to fix him and help him up and everything. And her son turns out he has O positive blood, so he can donate, universal donor. And so they have to get the bullet out because it's causing him to continually bleed and hemorrhage. And so she has to go in like through his stomach because she can't go in directly for some reason. But so she cuts his stomach open, and it was really gruesome.
Oh, really?
Like,
pretty graphic?
Yeah, pretty graphic.
Okay.
Like she's like reaching into his stomach.
Oh, wow.
Really cut his stomach. Yeah. And so I was like, wow, this is pretty gruesome for TV, for, normal television.
Yeah.
And so she pulls the bullet out and everything's fine. And then blood starts like coming out of his stomach, like onto his belly. And her daughter's like, oh, what's happening? He's dying. And she's like, oh no, he's hemorrhaging. I think I cut an artery. And so she's like, the daughter goes, okay, I think I can stop the artery. I can put pressure on it. So she does like the little bubble thing where she's got that power to like create shields. Yeah. So she like puts a shield on just his artery long enough for his mom to stitch the guy's stomach shut. But the thing is the artery's still cut. Just because the blood is in his body doesn't mean that
she's gonna
he's
keep
okay.
that shield on there until it heals or something.
No, like as soon as it was sewed up, she like took the shield off.
That's weird.
So I'm like, just because an artery is in your body and it's cut doesn't mean that it's okay.
They forgot to hire the medical expert for this episode.
Right. Like the blood will be it won't be getting to whatever extremity that artery was supposed to be running to. Like if that was running to his heart, he's going to die from lack of blood to his heart, you know?
Okay.
So it's just like the dumbest thing, I guess. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know if we have a medical professional listener that wants to email us.
Tell me.
But I really do think that wouldn't be the case. But anyway, overall, I am enjoying it. There's enough suspense there to kind of keep me interested in what's going on. I'm interested to see kind of this new... It feels like they're moving away from the whole capture, escape type thing, and they're moving more into like figuring out what this underground organization is going to be about.
That's cool.
And I like that. I think that's good.
That is cool. I like that.
Overall, last couple episodes, I rank it at kind of like a 7.5, 7.
Okay, nice.
7.6 kind of range.
No, that's good, actually. We'll see if I can check it out. I'm still trying to get a lot of stuff happening, but I want to try my very bestest. But yeah, the next show you've been following up on and staying caught up on, which is great, and that is Mr. Robot. So tell us what's happening. Yeah.
This one I've been really hesitant to spoil stuff for because it's a good one to not have things spoiled for, but most of it, the show is kind of moved into... It's weird.
Okay.
In the same way, I don't know how many seasons are left. That's what's so weird about it.
Oh, because we don't know, like, they haven't, like, listed, like, how many they want to do?
Yeah, it in the same way that Game of Thrones kind of built out into this big world and then kind of now recently has gotten to a much smaller place. It feels like that show is doing the same thing. It felt like it kind of built out, and especially in season 2, was a lot bigger and grander, and now it's kind of shrinking in scope. A lot of the characters are, like, dying and not a part of things.
I gotcha.
And it's interesting. Is the thing. It definitely still want to know what's going to happen and how things are going to happen with Elliot, whether he's going to stop this stage 2 attack from happening.
Yeah.
And it's weird how I'm almost rooting for the stage 2 to happen at the same time as I'm not wanting it to happen.
Right.
But I want to see it happen because I want to see portions of the other... I don't know. Again, I'm trying to spoil things. There's other elements that I talked about.
You
the sci-fi.
can if you want.
Well, the sci-fi stuff that they're starting to introduce.
Sure.
I want to see what that means and what that's about. And I feel like the only way we're ever going to really get an answer for that is if stage 2 takes place.
Okay.
That's kind of how it feels. Overall, I've been very much enjoying it. Some of the characters that you thinking are good turning out to be more bad. Portia Doubleday's character, I think, has been taking a really interesting story arc. I didn't really know where she was in the second season.
Okay.
And so I'm really liking that she's a lot more grounded this season. And they're starting to... The lines are becoming much more delineated good and bad.
Okay.
Whereas in the second season, it was kind of this blurry,
yeah.
I don't really know if you're good or you're bad. So I'm enjoying that overall aspect of it. And there's a lot of betrayal and people kind of espionage, underhanded type tactics that people are taking with each other that I'm really interested to see how that story plays itself out. I think some really good tension this last episode really was like, crud, what's about to happen right now? Is he going to figure this out? Is that going to happen? And I've kind of learned a bit more with the show. There was times with the show in the past where I would see something happen. I would think, did I miss something? Like, did I miss what they're talking about? But I'm realizing now that a lot of times that's done on purpose.
Okay.
You're not supposed to necessarily know what it is that they're talking about or how that ties in specifically.
Until later?
Yeah, until later.
Yeah.
And so that's been good for me to kind of come to terms with that in a sense. So I thought this was overall really an excellent episode.
Nice.
Very enjoyable, very tense. And I'm excited to see kind of what happens with him. We're almost about halfway through the season now, so I would expect for kind of a bigger mid-season twist to happen at some point. Twist. It's a twist. But I don't know. That might not necessarily happen. Mr. Robot has been one of the shows that a couple times has thrown me for a loop, and I'm like, I did not see that coming.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm hoping for something along those lines.
Yeah, is it a nonstop season, or do they take a break for winter?
I don't know. I honestly do not know.
Yeah. Okay.
And it might be more than 10 episodes, but I really think it's only 10 episodes.
Usually it'd probably be 10.
Yeah, because their episodes are longer and they're more cinematic and
they're like 55-ish minutes,
Yeah.
and the first 2 seasons were only 10. So
okay, that's what I thought. So
okay, cool. Would you rate it? Did you rate it?
no, but I'll give this one like an 8.7.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for our Tube Talk segment for the shows that we're talking about. Again, just connect with us. Let us know what you thought about these things, especially The Walking Dead. Curious about that one. Email us, realreviewmedia@gmail.com. Find our website, realreviewmedia.com. You can get connected with our YouTube, our social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com, all that fun stuff as well through that site as well. And yeah, other than that, anything else you want to...
Where are we right now? What's going on?
I have no idea.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm good.
Okay. Are you even hungry right now? Okay, we're all done.
I'm so hungry right now. If you had a cheeseburger, I would eat it.
Okay, well, send us a cheeseburger, realreviewmedia@gmail.com.
Or a taco. I would take a taco.
Nice. Well, hey, guys, it's been fun. Have a splendid rest of the week.
Yeah.
And it's been real.
It's been real.